So already the MCU's Phase 5, I guess, is upon us. I don't know if Wakanda Forever is considered a part of that. I'm kind of a little lost on that. But they announced all their other movies that are coming, and that'll all be Phase 5. So the Ant-Man movie, Quantumania, will be a part of the Phase 5 thing. So I guess maybe Wakanda Forever is the final film in Phase 4, what have you. But the significant thing about it is that it clearly in the trailer, they introduce Namor, the Submariner. Of course, they're changing everything. Apparently, he's not from Atlantis. He's from the Aztec Empire, which I don't recall any legends of the Aztec Empire sinking into the ocean. I don't think Cortez and his conquistadors had that kind of firepower. But anyway, they're just going to do that because we don't want to be compared to Aquaman because DC for once beat Marvel. That's the one time. Well, that and Wonder Woman, so that got them. They had to hurry up and shoehorn Captain Marvel into their movies, apparently just out of that. So, okay, they managed to get two. They usually lose to Marvel all the time, but did that, and for some dumb reason, they decided, Aquaman beat them to the Atlantis story. So they can't use Atlantis, even though Atlantis is, you can't own that. That's public domain mythology. So, I mean, Plato's, I guess the estate of Plato can own it. So, it's stupid. But it's also kind of funny because, as I recall, the original Aquaman origin had nothing to do with Atlantis. I think his father was a scientist and he had to cure him when he was a little boy. He had some rare disease and they had to put him underwater to do it or something, and as a result, he got Aquaman powers, which was more of his own original thing because Submariner was always from Atlantis, if I remember correctly. So, but just the fact that they could both come from it, I mean, to tell you the truth, DC Comics could come up with their own Thor if they wanted to, because again, mythological character, it's public domain, so couldn't make him look the same, but but anyway, that's a bigger problem to me. I mean, obviously the superficial nonsense that wokedom demands is the ethnicity of the actor has to be exploited even further. I mean, I don't really have a problem. I'm not familiar with the guy. At least the shorts are green. So, he probably do all right playing the character, but they don't give him the chance to play it because they keep changing everything. So that's why, he's from the Aztec Empire. See, that sort of kind of makes him Latino. So they want to exploit that even more than just hiring the actor. They just want to, they want the superficial points, and it's what they do. But to change so much and then going forward, there's all kinds of Namor Submariner stories. Will they work? We won't get to do them because they just dropped all of that for this foolishness. So that's unfortunate. The movie overall is greatly hindered because it's a sequel to Black Panther, but there's no Black Panther. Sadly, Chadwick Boseman passed away. And it's a sad position to be in, but either pause Black Panther stuff, the other characters could be featured in other movies and stuff, but eventually you recast the role. They're not going to do that. They're just going to go ahead and pass the mantle on to his sister, I guess is what they're going to do. I think so. And that'll be that. So that's what they're doing. And then they have the Atlanteans and the Wakandans battle it out. Yes, that's right. An African gang goes up against a Latin gang. That's, boy, I didn't think that through. So, that's what they're going to do. The draw would be, look, Namor shows up, even though they've changed him completely, so you're not really getting Namor, which, could have, but just didn't. And the other is just a rumor that Doctor Doom might appear in it. Now, there's some amount of credibility in this, in that you have Black Panther and Namor. Well, you don't have Black Panther. You have his family and Namor in here. And Doctor Doom showing up would make some amount of sense in that all three characters played heavily throughout Fantastic Four in the comics. So, and they're building towards the Fantastic Four showing up eventually. So there you go. There's that. Maybe there's something to that. Don't really know, but there you go. So Ant-Man Quantumania, which will probably delve even further into multiverse. Apparently they say, oh, this is the multiverse saga. So will they actually explore the multiverse? The most exploration was the Spider-Man film, which was the guest star of the previous Spider-Man from the Sony films. That's about it. Then Doctor Strange, you thought, it's got multiverse in the title, so no, not really. They really only visited like 2 other worlds. They leaped through a few, but you didn't get to do much, and you had some rather lackluster cameos, and that was it. So maybe they'll finally get to it in Ant-Man, but don't hold your breath. Secret Invasion will be on D+. Now, the Secret Invasion, the story in the comics was pretty cool. It also opens the door to bring dead characters back, but then you'd have to declare that those characters who you thought had died were actually Skrulls in disguise. Yeah. Now, they changed, again, the Skrulls story. The Skrulls were always villains in the comics. Every now and then you'd have one that turned good and that kind of thing. But they did that, once again, to get superficial and exploit them and say that they're metaphors for, migrants or refugees and stuff like that because they wanted to preach. So it kind of messes up the whole story, except in the Secret Invasion, this was a religious sect of Skrulls that hatched the plan to take over Earth and all that. So I suppose they could still do that and say, oh, it's the extremists, and the good Skrulls are going to help the superheroes take out the bad Skrulls and that kind of thing. But yeah, they could reveal. I doubt that it would be Iron Man to reveal, because then all his heroic moments leading up to his death. Why would he do it? He just became to believe that he really was Tony Stark. Does that mean his daughter is not his daughter? Yeah, I don't know about that. But anyway, yeah, they could do that. So then Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3, which is more probably separate from everything. They'll probably have some teasers in it and stuff like that, but probably be James Gunn's own deal. And there you go. But so probably be all right in that respect. But Secret Invasion, being that it's going to be a TV series on D+, yeah, that doesn't sound good, because the D+ shows have been mostly crap. Actually, Ms. Marvel and Hawkeye are probably the best they got. So the chances of them screwing up Secret Invasion, which again in the comics was a pretty cool story, are very high. Another D+ series is Echo, coming out of Hawkeye. No interest in that whatsoever, because even though Hawkeye overall was better than the previous shows, Ms. Marvel beat that. So Hawkeye had a lot of stupid in it. Speaking of bad D+ shows, Loki Season 2. Yeah, so we can watch him get his balls kicked again and make out with his female self. Cool, huh? So then, speaking of Ms. Marvel, the Marvels. Oh boy. Yeah, I guess Brie will show up in that, because she showed up very briefly in the Ms. Marvel show. And the odds that the movie will probably, in this case, the movie will probably be worse than the TV show, because the TV show, again, for all intents and purposes, was not bad. So, I don't know. It doesn't really matter. They haven't really done anything with Captain Marvel. They shoehorned her in. It's just, she's amazing and great. And everybody said, yeah, why? She is, and that was it. And it wasn't appreciated. And so no one really cares. Odds are she dies at the end of this one. And I think Monica Rambeau takes over the name. So whatever. No one cares. Then there's Blade. Everyone still thinks of Wesley Snipes and stuff. I don't know. We'll see. Ironheart, again, I think will initially be introduced in the Wakanda movie, or Black Panther 2. So there you go. Back to D+ with Agatha. Don't care. Daredevil, Born Again. Well, with that title, oh boy, if they actually did Born Again, that would, well, it's, you know, D+, and what are the odds, you know? Because the Daredevil Netflix show, especially those first 2 seasons, was about as good as it gets with superhero shows. Which I keep thinking, imagine if they did a Batman version on that level. HBO Max, the streaming wars are over. They'd win it. But for some reason, just can't do it. Captain America 4 will be Captain America New World Order. Well, I wonder what that could be. So, I guess Sam Wilson, you know, defeats the white supremacist patriarchy or something. Thunderbolts. So they haven't really developed their villains very well to get there. Again, I guess DC beat them out with Suicide Squad. So maybe by the time they get there, they'll have some villains that anyone cares about. They haven't introduced their own Norman Osborn yet to be the leader, although originally Baron Zemo was the original leader. So maybe they'll do that. If they did the original story with, you know, Citizen V and all that stuff, that actually would be pretty cool. But again, the villains just haven't been developed for anyone to go, oh, it's him, he's you know, and all that. So there you go. Oh yeah, we still got She-Hulk coming. I guess that's considered Phase 4 though. And saw the latest trailer. No. And again, Tatiana, she's an excellent actress. I know she's, you know, just, you know, has more talent than her entire little body can contain. But this just isn't worthy of her skills. But I guess they're paying her well. You know, I'm just not optimistic about that. So, and then they introduced, what's his name? The guy who was in this Peacemaker series, who was secretly a butterfly alien. He's going to be the High Evolutionary, who, well, again, was a white character in the comics, but, you know, what are you going to do? But he always wore a purple mask, but it looks like he's not going to wear the mask. He's just going to wear the purple suit. And he showed up at the audience and said, look, it's me. I'm the High Evolutionary. So I guess they'll get to that. And then eventually, after all this, Phase 6, I guess, comes along, and then we'll have the Avengers, the Kang Dynasty. So Kang, who was responsible for everything, as revealed in Loki, will show up. And then Avengers Secret Wars, which some sort of version of that. I imagine they'll make it an amalgam of the original Secret Wars and then the, who was it, Jonathan Hickman version, something along those lines. And if they do it like with some of that, then they can reboot the entire MCU and start over, recast everybody. And you have the new Avengers of Captain America, Iron Man, and Thor, and so forth. Maybe they'll do that. By then, surely Wokedom would have been long dead, if MCU as a franchise can survive that long. Because it's not looking so good right now. Other than Spider-Man, everything else pretty much fizzled. So, anyway, that's what you got to look for. Oh, yes, and of course, again, Fantastic Four. Yeah. You know how Superman is the beginning of the DC universe? Well, Fantastic Four, really. I mean, you can go into the World War II stuff and Captain America and over, but they really hadn't solidified it. What became the Marvel universe happened in the 60s. And Fantastic Four holds that Superman position. And yet, they just never could get it right. And then Spider-Man stole the title from him. But there's so much you could do with it, and they just can't figure it out. Odds are they'll screw it up again. Especially since it's going to be sort of ass-backwards shoehorned in. Probably should have just saved it when they do their big universe reboot and recast everything. And let them be the first thing. Whatever. I don't know. I'm not optimistic. There's ways to make this work and figure it out, but they've done an awful lot of damage. And so it's yet another Mount Everest to climb. Not that there won't be some good things in here, but they'll be overshadowed by all the crap. It's like what happened to Ms. Marvel. It's a good little show. It's a very much unknown character. Those comics didn't sell. Sorry, hardly anyone outside of it knows who that is. And but she's just surrounded by crappy other shows on D+, and failing movies. So it didn't spark any interest, and that's unfortunate. But that's the way it goes. So some of these movies might be pretty good, but a lot of them won't be if they keep going in the direction they've been in. So anyway, that's that.